We'll start off with the University of New Mexico as a very talented squad across the board. I mean, they're in this division for a reason. Going against some of the big boys, Texas A&M has qualified for a lot of upcoming tournaments. So both these teams extremely talented.
Yeah, this is bound to be a good one here to finish off our night. Take a look at the Lobos, and I mean this squad has been around NECC for a while. Definitely, I mean, some familiar names for those of us who've been part of this league for some time. And with that comes a bit of existing synergy and kind of the veterans here, at least in NECC. But these young upstarts they'll be going up against tonight in Texas A&M Maroon have certainly come out swinging as they made their debut in NECC.
Yeah, they have performed very well so far. I mean, they bring a lot of talent with all of these players on the roster. The big question is going to be, can they continue the streak that they are on and continue the positive vibes? I mean, you got to keep this going throughout the entire season and qualify for playoffs.
Yeah, it's not good enough just to be good for a week or two. I mean, you can be consistent. Yep. I mean, across metas, even as this does span quite a few months. So, you might maybe work from for you 1 week. Suddenly 2 weeks later, it has fallen out of favor, or primary tank that you've used is suddenly not as strong as they were. So you got to be consistent, got to be flexible. With that, speaking of flexible, let's take a look at our. Well, I don't even know that we have that ready. I think we're still deciding on maps. I don't know. I know we have banned out Ilios, so A&M had our higher seed, so they will get the ban. They've decided Ilios is not an option. That's about as much as we know thus far.
Yeah, so unlikely we're going to get any kind of dive shenanigans. Ilios tending to be the one control map where we tend to see that a lot. So probably expecting some more brawl shenanigans, especially with this new patch coming in. From what I have seen and casted thus far, it is a lot of May. It is a lot of Bastion and Sim and just total amounts of colliding with that brawl.
Are going to head to Oasis for map number 1. Beautiful map.
Yeah, very excited. And I think we open up the option for possibly dive. I've seen a lot of teams running the Doomfist compositions as well. So I think that opens the door if we go to a map like City Center or possibly even Gardens. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. And, I've also seen a lot of Junker Queen on this map. So it's a nice mid-range map where you could take full advantage of the close quarters and absolutely tear through teams with that carnage.
We get a last second sub here we need to let you know about as the University of New Mexico are putting a machine in for Karama here in the map number 1, apparently due to some ping issues, maybe trying to iron out some internet issues. And meanwhile, we're going to get machine taking the starting role and get ready to get this week 4 matchup going.
As we mentioned, first map is going to be Oasis. So for both of these teams, it's of the utmost importance. As we mentioned, A&M comes in the higher seed, hoping to keep the good fortune and high seed that they've been able to attain in the season going. So can these more seasoned members of NECC, being the Lobos, upset the higher seeded Texas A&M Maroon as we get you guys loaded into Oasis very shortly?
Very similar aesthetic to these two squads. Similar colors between the and of course Aggie Maroon. Even the logos have a similar appeal to them. I mean, the states right next to each other, neighboring states. Feels a little bit like a rivalry. It feels there's tinges of a rivalry. Hints, flavors.
Yeah, just our partners to the west, our neighbors, as both these teams hoping to settle this rivalry, this mini rivalry right here and now as we start things off on Gardens, and we get a little highlight from the Lobos. No surprise here. We're seeing them pull out that Sigma with the Bastion. That has been like the go-to comp we've seen in this meta.
Yeah, it's what you use with it that seems to vary. The Baptiste and the Lucio are kind of the most common support duo. Have seen a couple of other things subbed in, but this seems to be the set one. This is where it gets curious. So, off the Bastion, May, one of the most common pairings alongside our one of the highest DPS heroes in the game, which is of course Bastion in that assault configuration. But both of our teams running out with Mirror aside from the tank here, Ray.
Yeah, the Orisa's definitely going to be the more tanky of the two. Can really hang in the battle for a long time with that fortify, but far away's gone.
Yeah, it was a combination of a javelin spear. Squid, actually got credit for it, but I think Gigglesnort did all the work there. And with the Sigma God, Gigglesnort just runs down everyone else. That's a Gigglesnort ace as far as I'm concerned, all right?
Yeah, so if you are A&M Maroon, that's exactly the start you needed, is with this Orisa playing full aggression, getting in the face of the Sigma. Sigma Faraday thrives on being able to create space, and you have that Fortify to deal with any of those Mei shenanigans when you push through.
Hitter has, swapped over to a Bastion. Here for this next point, going off of the mirror, going off of the Mei. Loop all the way around here for University of New Mexico. Texas A&M decides to drop there. They don't even really take a fight up top. They're just going to try to out-rotate the Lobos. They do give up this high ground and let Machine fire from this... Oh, no! That slide was so close, so pivotal. Ooh, barely making it back on the good ground. Fortify out as the Accretion Rock misses here from Faraday. It's around the center column. Faraday mentions to catch up. Squid, though, who was stuck in that room. Wall protecting the Bay for now. Luminous just blocked up in the corner. Back against the wall. That's a dangerous place to be. And Silhouette will pick up that kill.
Yeah, as she is carrying, keeping that Lucio alive with that clutch immortality field, just getting the Mei wall broken down in time as UNM Lobos are just cleaning up. And the best part is they didn't have to use any kind of ult commitment to reflip that point. They just out-rotated A&M and isolated people. So very good credit to the Lobos, as now they can try and build up some percentage with these ultimates they have coming online.
14% ed, counting A&M. No shortage of ultimates of their own right. It's going to be a very explosive next fight. Perhaps a little bit of a combo with the Terror Surge might be the ticket. And Matrix up from A&M to start things off. Trying to buy some space. In fact, Madden bought you a kill. Go to a shot from Segs. To open this thing wide for Texas A&M. Sound barrier in response. Now a bunch of ults coming in for the Lobos, but the Blizzard will knock Faraday out of theirs. The slam will not happen. Gravity defied here by Texas A&M.
That is just great teamwork coming out from the Aggies. Being able to sense, like, okay, this flux is in the air and we got Blizzard below. Gigglesnort being able to javelin him out of the flux, taking away the damage and trapping him in the Blizzard. As we approach this next fight, Machine, the Lobos, need him to come through with a huge overclock to outduel Segs.
Segs has a far more advantageous position. Gonna give that up, just slide in, decide to be aggressive. Artillery strike coming out from the Lobos. Faraday in the thick of things has already taken Segs down. Overclock falls to nothing. Machine's still holding on to theirs, so they might need it. Giggleswort's gonna take down two. A third falls. A&M. Oh man, they fought hard. Unfortunately, just couldn't quite pull it out in the end. Illuminous is still here, but this is a 1v3. Baptiste on the point. Make sure the well, just try to hold down this as long as possible, I guess. Bozeman's here to make sure overtime is going. Silhouette dies, and this broken fight is turning for Texas A&M.
They are just coming through with the staggers. They're fighting the picks now. The Blizzard is out, and that is pretty much going to wrap up this point. When we thought the Lobos were going to flip it and build some momentum, Texas A&M slams the door in their face and takes the point.
It was just a bit of a slip up there from UNM. Like, they had that fight. I mean, what a play to come out from Gigglesort. I mean, really turning that around with the Terror Surge. Still felt like the Lobos had the advantage even after that. But they kind of split. I felt like there was a split decision. I mean, it was forced by the overtime. So, Lobos having to move in to touch the point. Texas A&M able to capitalize. Yeah, this is the play here. Like, just got the Sigma with that. That was the only thing that died in that Terror Surge.
Yeah, because Bozeman had to go touch that point on the Lucio to not allow the overtime to wick away. As we move to the next point, we're going to see for Texas A&M that they aren't swapping anything. They're going to continue to play this Mei Sojourn, as UNM has decided this is the key to trying to get back in this series, is mirroring it and playing it better.
I'm just gonna dance around for the moment. A&M, one high ground. Lobos trying to play through the stairwell. Want to keep things nice, up close and personal. Perhaps draw somebody into a Mei wall. A&M are not taking the bait on this. They're content to sit on the outside, where they can keep Segs up high with that advantageous position. Texas A&M do eventually decide to get aggressive and see if they go evict the Lobos out of the point with a good shot from Segs. They're on the right track. Yeah, Kinger's gone. Wall will protect against the energy javelin, but it feels like just a matter of time before A&M find these exit kills.
Yeah, and this is exactly what you were talking about, Jeff. Them being able to take that high ground, give the angles for Segs to be able to take on that high ground, and they just take full advantage of it. And the problem with playing the Sigma that Faraday is on is Illuminous on the May. Orisa has a Fortified that can get her out of a bad situation. Sigma cannot. You cannot kinetic grasp the May primary fire.
So true. So true. You gotta be, you have to anticipate, you have to rotate better. You can't let them make it that close to you as Sigma. Going up high is Faraday and the rest of the crew. That is an ambitious rock. Just stuck now, being gate kept by a javelin spin. The wall denied a little bit of healing, but the immortality field comes in late. Giggle Snort drops down low. Luminous is down there with it. Ice blocked up after getting that kill onto Silhouette. So with the Baptiste gone, yeah, this is really starting to go south here for the Lobos. A&M are in full control.
Illuminous is wrecking havoc on the entire team of the Lobos. They just are taking the high ground, dropping down on top of them, and just putting that primary fire that's been buffed so hard in their face, and they are just getting melted away. The Lobos have to find a way to mitigate the amount of value Illuminous is finding, and they're going to have a blizzard to throw into this next fight. I mean, their answer is try and use Bastion and burst them down.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to rotate around towards stair side again, but Texas A&M are already jumping on them. They're going to get aggressive. Use the Fortify to block against the rock. Perfect cooldown trade here for Giggle Snort. Here comes the Blizzard into the thick of things. Sound Bear out just in time. Bozeman, lucky they didn't lose that ultimate, but it only keeps the machine alive for a short amount of time. Overclock from the outside to try to pull back a 3v5. Not happening in the waning seconds. Segs finds a Colac kill to send the Lobos packing. Texas A&M up 1-0 in our series.
Proving us why they're the higher seed coming into this matchup. I think they knew that this Orisa would be a great counter to the Sigma. You just got to get aggressive with your Lucio with that speed, get in his face with the May, and there's not a lot he can do once he throws that projected shield. You just primary fire, slow him down, focus him down, and the rest of the team will crumble. So A&M already off to a speedy start as they're trying to improve on that record and continue to grow in the Masters division.
Giggle Snort's Orisa is so lethal. Like, this four-legged monster running you down is just absolutely terrifying. And what a pick. You know, we were talking about the balance of this meta, and yeah, to come out with the Orisa pick and just look so darn strong on it, commanding the map. Oh, man, a big applause to Giggle Snort and the rest of Texas A&M.
So Kings Row, the one thing we could expect is some semblance of the brawl. It could be the Sigmas once again. We could see Zarya's coming out, Junker Queens, Reinhardt's. I think the key is we're going to see a lot of Lucio, we're going to see a lot of Baptiste, and then the tank and DPS could vary a lot as we load up into Kings Row very shortly. A&M taking a very decisive 2-0 map lead on Oasis, hoping to carry that momentum over to Kings Row, talking about the dangers of going down 0-2 in a series in a 1st-3. It's very tough. Reverse sweeps are just not so easy to come by in Overwatch. You know, you have to find an answer to what you've been losing to, and then you have to be able to reset the mentals and keep going and win 3 maps in a row. That's not so easy, especially when you're going up against high talented teams in the Masters division.
Highly competitive division. You've certainly got to be on your game. Yeah, apologies. It's it had another little lag spike. We're trying to fix it. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, it's just a momentary thing. It'll pass and it'll never come up again.
Hopefully, as these teams are roaring and ready to go, we will be loading you guys in there very shortly as the Lobos looking to bounce back after a disappointing showing on Oasis. Hopefully, London is the quell to what is making them struggle.
Lobos are hoping Kings Rose a pick. Oasis didn't get the job done. That was the Lobos pick too. So hopefully Kings will work better. Let's see what they want to come out with here. Got a few seconds for them to decide. I'm very curious. Like I was trying to say for what time I was able to get on during our break. This pick is going to be pretty indicative to me. And yeah, we're seeing Faraday come right back out on this composition. We're seeing the May paired with it though, Ray.
Yeah, I think this is very smart. We saw them doing the Bastion Sojourn for a lot of the map, and actually they are going to go back over to that Sojourn after contemplating a little bit. So again, the Key Getter is all about trying to provide that upfront damage while Machine is on an angle, trying to find rail gun shot kills. For the side of the Aggies, they are playing with fire. I'm trying not to comment too hard on what they are. They do have the May Bastion out. My big question is the tank for Giggle Snort. Is that Ramattra going to be what they roll out with? And it is. So very excited to see this matchup against the Sigma. I feel like you want to play this similarly with the Orisa. Get in the Sigma's face and punch him.
Very much so, but Ramattra doesn't quite have as many tools to deal with like the Secretion Rock, though that one just kind of somehow misses everybody. That looked like a rock I would throw where it just weaved between all the players. Unlucky. Faraday now caught in the corner. The Lobos struggling to get out of here. Everybody's stacked on top of each other. Using a May wall from Illuminous actually bought the Lobos some space. That was a bit of a gift from the Texas A&M squad, but you know what? They capped point A in wicked fast time. And now they're just going to start marching on in towards this bookstore. This fight hasn't really stopped, though, Ray.
Yeah, they're looking to just back out and take a fight here at the Archways with how important that is, but Segs finds Kigator, and this is devastating for the Lobos.
Yeah, Kigator kind of didn't get rotated back with the rest of the team. He gets picked off. Oh, and a late Ant Matrix to try to stabilize here, but a big Bio Nade means the Lobos are very tentative on trying to peek this.
Yeah, it's extremely tough when you're down one and you're anted, so you have to completely just back up and forego all this space. So now the Aggies are able to take this bookstore corner. That's two amazingly great defensive positions they have now taken away from the Lobos.
They're fortunate to get out of that one alive. Oh, good clap back from Bozeman. I can't tell you how bad Lobos needed that. They needed anything to go their way, and their Lucio delivers. Here comes the Sound Barrier out of Squid to see if A&M can respond. Artillery strike doesn't hit the mark, but that big old left hook does. Bowman punched right out of the sky. Both Lucios now absent from our teams, and these two Bastions are going nose to nose. Segs wins the duel. Texas A&M equalizing players and dropping Annihilation to push this card home.
Yeah, and very smartly, Giggle Snort is like, look, I'm just going to ignore this Sigma. I'm not going to be able to kill him with Annihilation, but I can kill these squishies, and then he ends up getting the kill anyway. They are speed running this map. They have just under 6 minutes.
Yeah, it took them 90 seconds to get through point B, which is, coincidentally enough, the exact amount of time you get. They had the same amount of time when they capped point A as they did when they capped point B. Unreal.
Lobos need to clap back. They have the ultimate to be able to do that, but Azarova keeps hitting these amazing bio nades.
It's incredible. Azarova on top, the Nano out into a massive blizzard. Sound Barrier to the Lobos, and they've only got one kill to show for it. That one is onto the tank, so it comes with a lot of value, and it means that a couple more might snowball here. I think it's a 3v3 on the point. Lobos should be able to stabilize, but they lose their own tank, and now they lose their Baptiste as well. This is a disastrous turn.
Okay, they get the May. A lot of damage off the table. And I feel like at this point you need to reset as Giggle Snort moves over to the Doofus to try and re-engage this, and they're going to try once again. Yeah,
Texas A&M don't want to let the pressure off. They can feel that they're on the verge of capping this. Segs falls, though. Beautiful amplification matrix from Silhouette. Giggle Snort got two of the punches in the thick of things here. Big bio nade from Azarova again. The Machine has had enough of those nades. Puts an end to that. Puts an end to Giggle Snort as well. UNM stabilize here on the back of Machine and Silhouette.
as they're finally able to stop the bleeding. UNM is able to get defensive positioning now. However, it cost every single ultimate they had on the field, as the Aggies going to come back with both of their support ultimates, so they cannot afford to relax, especially with still 4 minutes on the clock for the Aggies.
Yeah, that's just a monstrous time bank. Unreal. Keygator in a wonderful spot. I don't know how you got up there without a pedal platform, but well done. Sound barrier nano boost invested in from Texas A&M as they just go surging right at the back line, forcing the Lobos all the way into the spawn and picking up everybody along the way. You can see every gun from A&M pointed at one target at a time. Communication in action. You'll love to see it. What a cap. What an attack here from Texas A&M.
As it only took them 23 seconds off the clock to cap all 3 points. That is just a fat time bank that you're going to have going forward for the Aggies, and they just continue the momentum. I've always had this theory: after you dominate a map 1 like the Aggies did, a lot of teams tend to have 2 different types of philosophies. Either they want to get on the attack immediately like the Aggies just did and just have a dominating time bank, or you have a dominating defense. Well, they came out and just said, we're going to run down your throats, and we are going to cap this so fast and try and just demoralize the Lobos.
I love it. I mean, there's advantages in
their defense, hoping to go up 2-0. As on this defense, they have decided that the Ramatra, very great offensive, really ramming it down your throat, but we need the more sustain, more chunkiness that Arissa is going to provide to us on this defense. Oh.
Apparently not. Give me a segment from Kickle Snort. All right. I mean, Kickle Snort has shown us an excellent Ramatra, an excellent Orisa. So that's what you got on this segment here. Defend for map number 2. Texas A&M looking to go on match point.
The one thing I'm excited to see is Olari Lifeweaver Gaming. Very excited. You know, Lifeweaver is just known for being able to output a ridiculous, insane amount of heals, while the Olari for Azarova, who's been very aggressive on that Ana, can be extremely aggressive, taking angles like they are right now on that high ground.
Especially when you have the life pool from the Lifeweaver.
Yep.
It can really empower Azarova to be a very dangerous threat here on this high ground. Knowing that, Bozeman is going to head up there, but it takes so much damage. Bozeman was down to about 25 health, manages to get topped off, and goes back low again. Meanwhile, Googlesworth lands a beautiful accretion, and Machine gets picked off. Faraday not faring much better here as they try to get aggressive, try to see if they can clap back against God. Oh, man, they're looking around for heals. It's just nothing but A&M jerseys.
Yeah, because they had to, Bozeman went up to peel and try and go after Azarova, who was on the high ground. You have no Lucio with you. A&M is able to just speed into your team and take out your front line. So that's the problem with this Olari, Azarova on the high ground, taking the angles. You can't just let her stay up there, so you got to go after him, do something about it, and the front line is going to get destroyed by the Aggies' front line.
I mean, yeah, like when they're trying to do something about it, they're taking so much damage. Be it Bozeman, who tried to go up there and do something, got taken down. And then we see Azarova get a pick mid-fight. It's going to be a disruptor shot. The entire team. That's the kind of threat Azarova's being. The entire team from the Lobos has to go up there to make sure they can't just sit there and shoot down on them.
And they're going to be running into two trees, but to a tree. They don't even need it. Kagator's down.
Yeah, Azarova had the Captive Sun, but I thought we were about to see. Just lands the headshot onto the Bastion. What prowess. All right, the outburst puts him down to the low ground as it feels like they did not want to give up that high ground. Azarova, I have a feeling he's going to be heading right back up there. Here comes Gigglesword from the outside, and the Captain Sun indeed from the front. Oh my! Texas A&M just smashes the Lobos as they collapse on them from all angles. Oh!
As that is already half the time off the clock, and the Aggies were able to win that while committing only a single ultimate. And the best part is they got the Lobos to commit one as well. No amplification matrix for the next few fights for the Lobos. So you put yourself in such a stronghold position if you're the Aggies. If you just continue to rotate these ults properly, you might be looking at a first point hold here.
This Captain Sun. And speaking of that, Viflux is pretty gargantuan as well. Not even a sound barrier will save you, Faraday. 1-2 combo from Texas A&M, and the Lobos are running.
Yeah, that combo is nasty. The flux with the artillery strike, literally, it doesn't. I've seen, Jeff, where it doesn't matter if you have a sound barrier and immortality field. It will burn through all of that and kill everyone. That combination is nasty.
I mean, that sound barrier was perfectly timed. Like, that's as good as you could expect from your Lucio player. Bozeman, you were on point. Not your fault, bud. That is just an unreal combo. And, man, pretty outstanding teamwork from Texas A&M. 50 seconds on the clock for the Lobos to try to get something done. Texas A&M will move up to match point. It's an overclock from Machine, hoping to make it happen, but they got to run through a blizzard to get there. Keygator gets stuck. Bozeman is high behind enemy lines with 1 health. Illuminus is going into the hotel to try and track him down. Giggle Snort does fall, but up on the high ground is Segs on the Bastion, and just making sure that nobody can survive down in that corner. Nobody can use that Ant Matrix, and nobody is going to kill your back line. Segs taking over. Lobos almost out of time.
That is insane. 2 players down for A&M. They should be back quickly, but they're not going to be able to play up and aggressive as they have been in these previous fights. It's going to give an opportunity for the Lobos to be able to push forward. Machine has the overclock, has a chance to keep the hopes alive of trying to tie up the series.
Oh, they are slim hopes, I'm afraid. Keygator dashes in. Here comes the captive sub from above, and that overclock has been popped. Ozarova will see if they can stop the overclock in its tracks. It's Sex who comes up with 1. The Genji pick actually might be working out. A little bit of chaos here from Keygator. Manages to pick up another artillery strike on the point. Gets nothing. Keygator's going to use their own pedal platform to put a little bit of pressure up on that Bastion. Bastion has to jump down, eliminate it. Keygator, the swap is good, and the Lobos still have that sliver of hope. It's not gone just yet, Ray.
That it is not. Keygator making the ultimate swap, the Genji coming through, being able to apply pressure to his backline to see Gigglestar coming back on the doofus. They want to try and end this right here and right now.
Yeah, tried to take a bit of a 1v3 there. Did lose the Kiriko on the approach despite getting that Genji. It does force out a sound barrier from Bozeman. If you're Lobos, you did not want to have to use that.
Yeah, I feel like that is still worth it, regardless at the end of the day, if you're A&M, to force out
getting
that
the sound
barrier.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, absolutely worth it.
You were going to lose that point no matter what. So being able to get aggressive, and that is just check, check, check. As now they're going to make the swaps. Giggle Snort back, going over to the Sigma, as Illuminus going over to the May once again, as Segs has dropped the Bastion, wants to keep a little bit of distance, try and help with this Genji, and is on the Soldier 76.
Also, some quick rotations with the legs. Can get up to the high ground, drop down, go get back up. Keygator gets absolutely caught out. I think that was up in the window. I don't believe that was ground level. But here we go as Gilgo Snort continues to move forward to see if they can seal up this archway. That would be ideal for Texas A&M and make it nigh impossible for the Lobos to complete this map. Yeah, kills are starting to go their way. Squid picking up a pair, and Segs is locking down this high ground.
As Giggle Snort is continuing to show us just maximum amount of flexibility throughout the tank role. I feel like that's the most important thing about a tank now when we come into Overwatch 2, is one tank being able to play so many different roles, so your team can't so easily be read based on what tank is in the game. Go ahead.
It's not just on the tank, because that makes it sound like Faraday can't play anything but Sigma. I mean, it really does come to how did your team practice? Like, what did you focus on? What did the coach think was going to be meta? So, I mean, it's not all on the tank, but I can't argue that Giggle Snort has been exceptional on all 3 that we've seen them on. Just don't want Lobos fans out there thinking that Faraday might be the problem here, because that is certainly not the case, as they have looped over the top with a Gravitic Flux ready to go here, Ray.
Yeah, that they do, and they can combo it with this blade that Keygator has available to them, so they have a lot of recipes that can bring them great success.
Oh, Faraday gets taken down mid-ultimate. That is not ideal. It looks like Keygator's going to suffer the same fate. 2 ults fall completely muted, just getting absolutely nothing.
Yeah, to me, that was Keygator just trying to be the hero. Like, our Sigma's down, let me pull out this blade and make something happen.
You gotta try to make a play. I mean,
I don't blame it. It's just unfortunate that didn't come through, as now we've got him moving over to the Soldier 76, trying to take this duel with Segs.
Give me a Gravitic Flux on to Faraday, who swapped over to that Zarya. Like I said, he gave to the Soldier 76. Could work behind the Matrix, but they died before it was able to come out. Overwhelming ultimates. Everybody from Texas A&M had something to throw at this point and ensure a victory on Kings Row. They close it out in a 3-0 here, and it looks like the hyper-focus on the Sigma composition, whether it's because Faraday's not as comfortable on other tanks, or whether it was just a choice from the school to hyper just throw everything, invest everything into this. I'm not sure, but it's not working for him right now, Ray.
Okay, I think going forward, we saw them hop on that Zarya there at the end. One thing I'm thinking as we head into Flashpoint, you can continue to play this Lucio Baptiste. Pull out the Zarya, put Kagator back on that Genji, and I think you could really start cooking. Speed boost that Zarya around, get in the face of the Sigma. The only thing you have to worry about is the Sigma throwing that shield and separating you from your healers. But if you guys are all moving together and getting on top of people, I think you could provide a lot of trouble to Giggle Snort, who's been playing that Sigma to perfection.
Giggle Snort has had an answer for everything. We'll see if the Lobos can throw up a curveball when we come back. It's Flashpoint. We'll see you after a break.
Yeah, as Saravasa has been that mainstay pick for a lot of teams when you come into Flashpoint, I think Saravasa just has that ability to be very wide open in the compositions you can play. New York City to me has been a lot more, you play Brawl and that's kind of how it goes. But Saravasa, I've seen anything from Doomfist to Wrecking Ball to Sigma. So I think both of these teams are going to be primed to play what they've been playing. The question is for the Lobos, what kind of adjustments are they going to make to try and deal with the dominance that the Aggies have shown?
Well, they are definitely making some adjustments as we bring up their roster here for map number 3. We are subbing in Barracks in the tank role for Faraday. So I wonder if this is a plan for... They were playing maybe a different composition with a different tank so that Barracks could focus on a different style. That's kind of what I'm thinking coming into this, but another notable change is Kurama, the starter that they were hoping to play from the beginning, is now available. Has apparently gotten whatever issues they had ironed out and is in here for map number 3 to try to carry Lobos forward and perhaps map 4 or beyond.
So hopefully these subs coming in are just what the doctor ordered for the Lobos to try and find a way back in. As A&M on match point, trying to, add that big W into their record column, trying to send a very talented Lobos down a notch and continue their very impressive season they've had in the Masters division so far.
What a debut. What a debut here for Texas A&M Maroon. In NECC Masters Division. I mean, UNM are a storied squad here in this league, and definitely have some experience and always a force to be reckoned with. But Texas A&M have definitely ruled today. They have set the standard and are forcing the Lobos to make changes. The Aggies are in control right now, hands down.
Yeah, it's felt like, they came in, had a feeling that the Sigma was going to come out on Oasis, and they just played that Orisa, got in the face, and then ever since then it's been the two teams counter punching, but it just seems like A&M comes back and hits just a little bit harder. So as we mentioned, got some new faces coming in for the Lobos. They wanted some of these players in Kurama from the first play, but they've solved their issues. Hopefully it can add some much needed morale and positive vibes to try and come back as getting loaded up onto Saravasa. The question is, especially coming into Flashpoint, I feel like there's a lot of value in being able to play very fast because you want to be able to counter rotate when points are finished and you're transitioning to the other different sub points. Being able to catch teams off in rotation is a very big tool. So I feel like Lucio has been a must on these Flashpoint maps.
It's why I've also seen Junker Queen popular as well. The shout giving that little bit of speed burst can be the difference maker sometimes. But I do want to add, it's not just about rotating faster, moving fast, playing fast. We've seen that meme kind of starting to go around like, you have to engage first, but why? And I mean, and so it's being clean with it as well. That is just as important. It doesn't matter if you get to the point first if your whole team doesn't make it.
And this is what I wanted to see coming out of Kings Row from the Lobos. They have Barracks coming in on that Zarya, and I wanted to see, because we had Kagator, who was playing very well on the Genji, Kurama going to play that role instead. But I think this Zarya Genji, get that full charge, get in the face of Gigglesnort, make his job harder, and then you have Kurama, who can quell a lot of the damage that Segs brings to the table with the Bastion, with that deflect.
Seems like a good read for the Lobos thus far, putting Barracks in, because Gigglesnort, despite the 3 tanks we've seen them excel at today, does indeed stick with the Sigma for bat number 3. With the Bastion, with that mate, no surprises except for maybe that Brig. We'll see how that goes. That's for Kuragama's Genji. See how they can dance around the shielded support. Silhouette sitting all the way the back line. Landed one good bio nade. Barracks had to drop down. Illuminous and the rest of the team are going to get aggressive to follow down low. Kurama shows back up to help bail out the team to get 1. But Texas A&M stayed bunched up. They stayed taking care of each other. And they managed to fend off everybody. Only losing 1 in that fight. And Segs is going to make a swap.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seemed like just a slight miscommunication coming out of Lobos. Silhouette was playing far back, understandably on the Onyx, because you're very susceptible to getting rushed on, but Barracks pushed so far forward on the Zarya that there just was not enough healing between Bozeman to be able to keep Barracks alive, and A&M is just able to pounce on that opportunity as they're continuing to just get staggers and pile up this percentage.
I mean, oh my god, that's all Azarova. Like, those kills are massive. Coming over to the Baptiste, a bit of a yard from them as well, but holy cow, 2 huge picks from your Baptiste. So impressive. That's exactly what you want in your back line. Almost have to be like shaking in their pants right now. I feel like they're so scared to move on to this point. Keygator's made a swap, so it's all flankers. Kurama gets caught out though. Our 2 DPS from the Lobos can't quite connect on that dive attempt. Still, the Lobos are attempting to fight this out. Nah, Gigglesnort kind of ran off.
Yes, Azarova is finding the picks in the beginning again, gets the pick onto Kurama, and the issue after the A&M's going to get this point, that you're playing Tracer Genji. The issue is if you even try and go after any semblance of the backline, we just see Squid, on the Brig can just whip shot you, can shield bash you, can just hit you with the mace. It's so hard with a Brig just playing the police in the backline.
And that's, since Lobos aren't using the Bastion, Squid, is free to move on to that to deal with these dive supports. Speaking of dive supports, it's a Nano Blade, El Clasico here from Kurama. Managed to get the Immortality Field and the Baptiste themselves, the highly lethal Azarova, not in the fight. Woo, nice little trade. Kurama, I'm glad you at least got that kill.
Very much needed coming out from the Lobos. I mean, 2 big ultimates off the table. It doesn't matter when you're coming up on the Big Daddy, that Graviton Surge, especially when you are the Aggies and you don't have the sound barrier. You have to hope that Squid, built up to the rally, and that's enough to sustain you through that Graviton Surge.
87% towards it. It's an Ant Matrix first, at least buy some space and a little bit more time to get said rally online. Here comes Kurama over the side. Graviton Surge is out. That's going to find at least 2. Immortality Field is there, and nobody can get the kill. Gigglesnort eats up the pulse bomb, and the Blizzard freezes everybody else. Texas A&M had the perfect response for that Graviton Surge.
And just played perfect. They were able to stall long enough with the Immortality Field for because the rally, it takes a second to build up and really have that value you need to sustain through the Graviton Surge. Immortality Field was there to buy the time, and that was just amazing teamwork coming out from the Aggies as they're going to continue to hold here. They're going to have a Flux and an Overclock combo, but Bozeman has the counter. That sound barrier is ready and locked.
Sitting in the room, I call 3 lights. Giant chandeliers up top. Kurama's indeed had to use, the deflect was there up with only 5 health, and Segs gets behind him. Nice nade. Barracks could be in a lot of trouble. Oh, the sleep as well. Silhouette. You did good. You tried. You tried hard. There was some good mechanics you were showing off. Unfortunately, A&M have got this one in the bag. This point at least.
couple last-minute touches, but it's not going to matter. Point number 2 in favor for the Aggies as the Lobos. Backs could not be further against the wall. They're going to have to reverse sweep Saravasa and reverse sweep this series as they have now made some swaps. Barracks is going over to the Orisa, and this is what we saw on Oasis, where it was the reverse, and A&M was able to take full advantage of the Orisa matchup into the Sigma. So hopefully the Lobos can do the same.
I mean, that was with some outstanding mechanics out of Gigglesnort. It's the only reason they're able to do that. So can Barracks bring us that same level of excellence as UNM Lobos try to start the climb up this impossible mountain? Sex on the outside with an overclock, the only ultimate available here for Texas A&M as they move on to the point. That one is pop, sound barrier here from the Lobos. Then they're going to go ahead and just kind of force Texas A&M back a little bit. Bit of a duel on the high ground here with Karama. And I don't know who was up there, to be honest. I think it was Ozarova that was up there. And Mortality Field has to be used early. Great wall. Is going to keep Barracks in a bit of a dangerous area for a bit. And Matrix now out from said high ground as Ozarova looks to find anybody daring enough to stick their face in front of this amplification Matrix. Nano boost, Nano javelin spin, and it allows Karama to get up there. What a play out of the Lobos to stay alive as long as they have. Escorted by Barracks as Orisa. They get it done and they stay alive.
And the fact that they had the point the entire time means they're looking at one final fight to finally get a point and get some positive momentum going in their favor. And Karama's going to have the blade available. You're just going to have to be careful of Squid. You can pop that rally, and then that shield bash can really stun and affect this value you get out of the blade.
I mean, the way Barracks and Karama were working together wouldn't surprise me to see Barracks do something magical that just creates all the space. Here we go. There's the Javelin Spin as well as the Katana, both unleashed, but one Blizzard might just shut it all down. Does Barracks have the cooldowns to get out? No. Ozarova has the aim right in the dome of that giant Orisa. Karama's still in fighting for dear life, though. There's one down. Still got both supports alive here for Texas A&M in an overtime situation, but that was all that was left. And the Lobos grab one here on Saravasa.
Now they can breathe just a little bit. It's got to be like, okay, guys, we got one. We got some momentum. We just got to keep it up. Kagator's going to have a pulse bomb. Bozeman can sustain with the sound barrier, as now Texas A&M are the ones on the back foot having to make some swaps. Illuminous is now going over to the Genji to try and take this duel with Karama, as Barracks swap over to the Orisa is just what they needed.
Oh, but Karama going down is not what they needed whatsoever. This might just slow up the Lobos enough. Yeah, with Barracks, that's just the icing on the cake. This is going to be first cap going over to Texas A&M. The Lobos can't lose anybody else here. No.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of percentage gained for the team in maroon, and now they have been able to sustain and build up to some of these ultimates. As the Lobos, however, they will be able to use both this nano and the sound barrier to try and quell some of these big time ultimates A&M's coming up on.
Nice. Yeah, brilliant stick. I mean, that's one way to quell them, is just kill them before they get a chance to use it. Sound barrier, once again, perfectly timed from Bozeman. Nothing to really couple with it this time, as Segs is not in this fight. Still silhouette. It's just some nasty hyperspheres. Gets blown to bits. A lot of retaliation coming out of the Lobos. They were not happy about you killing their support. You know what? A&M doesn't care what you're happy about. They're going to kill both supports and then take your takedown as well. This point belongs to A&M. This is down to the wire.
That was all on Gigglesnort. Found the crucial pick, as we're seeing right here onto the Ana. They had that nano boost silhouette, and it was just wiped off the field. One final chance for the Lobos to try and make something happen. Barracks has now gone over to the ball, and we get a pause just as the tension was rising as final fight was happening. What a downer there.
Oh my, like that was the most like cliffhanger pause I've seen in some time. I mean, if you're running into Azeroth with Ozarova. God, I don't know why that wasn't stick. I always want to call him Azeroth. I don't know why. I'm sorry. But Ozarova is up on the high ground with an ant matrix, and the Lobos are trying to run through a choke into one of the most lethal Baptistes I've seen in a while. So I mean, this is gonna be tough. Let's see how it plays out.
If you're Barracks, you're going to have to try and get over to the point. That is a horrible first step. Segs is fighting the kill, and they get touched.
That's it. GG's. That shot did it. As Segs puts the exclamation point on the series. An well-executed series indeed from Texas A&M. Wow. And I mean, the Lobos, they tried to adapt, and I like that. We saw them make some swaps. We them bring in a different tank, try to play something different, but Texas A&M just had an answer for it every step of the way.
Yeah, I feel like that's good signs for the Lobos in the future. The fact that they were able to find answers to the compositions that were giving them trouble. But it's just like you said, whenever they found an answer, A&M found a counterpunch to go back at it. And, that's a big reason why they're here. They had those in-game adjustments time and time again, and they showed why they are having such an impressive debut season in NECC.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the Bastion that came out, then, we saw Gigglesnort move to an Orisa. Against the Sigma, it was the Rimatra that we're seeing on. We see Yes come out from Lobos a little bit later on. Squid turns around and pulls out like whatever Lobos tried to do, Texas A&M were just one step ahead, right? It was impressive stuff. Gigglesnort, I think stole the show for me. Just massive ultimates all day long on all three heroes. Incredible mechanics as well as a big brain. Gigglesnort seems to be the whole package as far as the tank player is concerned.
Couldn't agree more. I'd like to highlight Azarova as we're seeing the highlight coming right now.
Yeah, good shout.
Showed complete flexibility on that support line, going from Alari to Baptiste. Played amazing on all of them. I mean, on Saravasa, they opened up and were basically winning team fights with opening picks on the Baptiste. You do not see that every day, the Baptiste opening things up.
Certainly not. It's a dominant performance here from Texas A&M in week 4 as they continue to excel and look to be one of the top teams in the Masters division. If you've got Texas A&M, if the Aggies are on your schedule, then, well, you are looking out for the squad. You are scared for that week. Look how dominant today was for them.
Yeah, they showed why they are so talented, why they're one of the highest seeds in the Masters division. And, they have a lot of talent behind them and a lot of flexibility.